The meeting will please come to order. Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, February the 17th. I would like to thank everyone who has joined us virtually. My name is Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. Just as a reminder for anyone who would like to have a public comment, there is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat for anyone who would like to speak. And as always, public comment will take place after non-legislative business. At this time, we will have our opening prayer by Akira Granado.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Amen.
Amen. At this time, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
United
of the United States of America,
and Republic for
and to the republic
which it stands,
for which it stands,
one nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Gray,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver,
Present.
Councilwoman Harley,
Present.
Councilwoman Fields.
Councilwoman Fields did ask to be excused.
Thank you. Councilwoman McCoy,
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Present.
Councilman Spadola, Councilwoman Walsh,
Here.
President Congo.
Here.
There's 9 present and 3 absent.
Thank you. Reading of the minutes from the previous meeting, please.
February 3rd, 2022, City Council met on regular session virtually with remote participation. They both did at 6:30. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding. The opening prayer was done by Kara Granado, Deputy City Clerk. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited by City Council. The following members responded to the call of the roll. Council members Gray, Darby, Oliver, Harley, Brigida Fields,
I
McCoy.
move the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we'll have our committee reports, please.
February 7th, 2022, present members of Council City of Wilmington, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee by virtual meeting with remote participation to was referred ordinance number 22002 entitled an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, supplemental wetland park project series of 2022 WPCRF in order to provide additional funds necessary for the city's wetland park project, providing for the sale of the bond and authorizing other necessary action. I've given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Harley, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo, absent with leave, Councilwoman Walsh.
At this time, I move to the minutes to be received, recorded, and filed as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the minutes be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried.
February 7th, 2022, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development by virtual meeting with remote participation to whom was referred ordinance number 22003 entitled an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond annual water mains improvement project series A of 2022 DWSRF in order to provide funds necessary to finance capital projects of the city relating to various water main improvements throughout the city, providing for the sale of the bonds to the Delaware Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action. I've given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Harley, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Walsh.
At this time, I move for the minutes to be received, recorded, and filed as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that report be received, recorded, filed, adopted by yea and nay vote. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried.
February 7, 2022, ladies and gentlemen, your Finance and Economic Development Committee by virtual meeting with remote participation to us referred ordinance number 22005 entitled an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and USI Insurance Services LLC for property and casualty insurance brokerage services. I've given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Harley, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Walsh.
At this time, I move for the report to be received, recorded, and filed as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried.
February 7, 2022, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee by virtual meeting with remote participation to and was referred ordinance number 22006 entitled an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and USI Insurance Services LLC for life and health insurance brokerage services. I've given this ordinance careful study and recommend council vote on it accordingly. Respectfully submitted, those members present: Councilman Johnson, Councilwoman Harley, Councilman Field, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola, President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Walsh.
This time, I move for the report to be received, recorded, and filed as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we'll have our city treasury report.
February 17, 2022. Total investment, $487,144,631.70. Total cash on hand, $11,875,579.74. Grand total, $499,020,211.44. Submitted by Dwayne Sims, City Treasurer.
I move the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the treasury report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. This time I'll accept the motion to accept all non-legislative business.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. This time we will have our resolutions. I believe we have two council members who have resolutions to present. First, we'll have Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I have a resolution to present to A.R. Morris, and I'm just trying to figure out, are they on the Zoom at this time?
They are.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first of all, I don't see them, but I believe that they're on. So at this time, I want to say to, is it Brett? That is representing the A.R. Morris business. Before I read the resolution, I just want to say on a personal tip that I am honored to present this recognition on tonight. Back, I want to say about 25 plus 30 years ago, I got my first credit card. I don't even think I got a credit card. I think when we signed up back then, you just write your name on a card. I don't remember ever getting a card per se, but I knew that I was approved for my first charge account at A.R. Morris. And I haven't purchased anything there in years, but I believe I'm still a customer. But I just want to say I've always had the best customer service there. They always worked with me. At that time, I was young, just getting started, and A.R. Morris was always there for me. And even when I messed up, they always gave me a second and a third chance. So I am honored to present this resolution on tonight. And I did see in the news journal that you were celebrating 60 years. So I wanted to take the opportunity to thank you for staying in the city of Wilmington and for your longevity here and making our city, our economic district what it is today. So I just wanted to share that. So the City of Wilmington, Delaware City Council, February 17th, 2022, sponsor Council Member Michelle Harley. Whereas Councilmember Michelle Harley and Wilmington City Council wishes to recognize the A.R. Morris Jewelers for their 60 years of business in the city of Wilmington. And whereas founded in 1962 by Albert R. Morris, A.R. Morris Jewelers first debuted at 902 North Market Street. Albert brought his vision to life by offering and maintaining trust, integrity, great quality, and value to their customers. With a wide range of watches, pearls, diamonds, and costume pieces, Wilmington has been able to experience premier jewelry right in the heart of the city. And whereas Albert is the patriarch of his family-run business, which now includes his son, Brett Morris. Brett is a gemolist who was a graduate of the Gemological Institute of America. His experience with diamonds is superb, and this knowledge is shared among staff to ensure that anyone who comes to A.R. Morris receives top-notch service. From picking a new piece, having something appraised, or design, the talented staff service the entire East Coast with one of the largest selections of diamonds and designer jewelry. And whereas this year, A.R. Morris celebrates 60 years in business and in downtown Wilmington's North Market Street. A.R. Morris has remained one of Market Street's oldest operating businesses. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that Council Member Harley is pleased to commend A.R. Morris Jewelers for 60 years of family, great service, commitment, and dedication to the local community. Your continued presence in downtown Wilmington is very much a part of what makes the City of Wilmington a great place to live, work, and play. Thank you for your service and your business for 60 years. And at this time, Brett, if you would like to make any comments, you can do it at this time.
Thank you. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Good. Well, first off, thank you all on behalf of the entire Morris family, my mother, my father, both my sisters, my children, my wife, all of us in the family business. We thank all of you. It's been a pleasure to be able to serve the city of Wilmington. And we hope to continue that for many more years. And thank all of you for all of your service over the years to the city that we call home and have since my father came here in 1960. So thank you all, and it's very much appreciated from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will have comments from council members. Councilwoman Gray.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Brett.
Hello, Linda.
I go way back.
Yes, we
I
do.
go back to your father. And I remember, to my detriment, you were along my walk when I worked in the state office building downtown. Every day I walked past the store. And at least once a month, I think I bought something. And in fact, I just saw you last week. So
Yes,
thank
you
you
did.
for staying in the city. Even when you went to Greenville, you kept the city here, the store here. But luckily, I don't have to walk past it anymore. I'm saving money now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Our pleasure, always.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cabrera.
Thank you. I just want to say that it's a pleasure to be able to be here this evening with you and congratulate you for the commitment that you've made to the city of Wilmington. It's always wonderful to go by Market Street and to see the store there. And his wife also has a photography studio on top. So there's two Morris's businesses that have been there for a long time. So I just wanted to thank you again for your commitment. Please give my best to your wife and your son Cole, and Vincent says hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And I want to say to Brett, I don't really remember you as much as I do your father. I'm dating myself, but I think I was in and out mainly around the late 70s and early 80s. And again, I really do appreciate A.R. Morris because again, I was young and just so excited about having my credit card. And then I will say, once I got my credit card at A.R. Morris, then I was able to get one at Bronstein's, at Authors. And you remember all those stores, right, Brett?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So again, when I seen in the paper that y'all were celebrating 60 years, I just felt like it was the right thing to do to present and sponsor this legislation tonight, recognition to A.R. Morris, and again, for your commitment to the city of Wilmington. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome. And have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. This time we'll go to Councilwoman Oliver for your resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I was trying to get my, make sure my phone's turned down. Sorry about that. Okay. My first honoree would be Mr. Harmon Carey, if he's on the line. Mr. Harmon Carey on the line.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Carey. How you doing?
Hi there, Xanthia.
Okay, this resolution is on behalf of all council members for Black History Month. See your name. And whereas it's the Census City, City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievements and deserving of recognition and acknowledgement. Mr. Harmon R. Carey is one such individual. Whereas Harmon received his Bachelor's of Art in Psychology at Central State University in Ohio, where he graduated cum laude of his class. Harmon earned a Master's of Social Work degree from University of Pennsylvania and a master's degree from University of Delaware, where he concentrated on urban affairs and public policy. Mr. Curry has completed his doctorate research in urban affairs also at the University of Delaware. Whereas Mr. Curry has emerged as the foremost advocate for African-American history preservation in the state of Delaware, working tirelessly to preserve the history of Black communities. He also serves as executive assistant to African-American heritage in the Division of Historic and Cultural Affairs for the state of Delaware, just to name a few. Whereas the first African art gallery in Delaware has been named in Mr. Curry's honor. His latest achievement is the founder of Delaware's first Black-owned and operated radio station, WHGE-LP, where he serves as a station manager. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the council in the city of Wilmington that this council is pleased to announce Harmon Carey for the extraordinary accomplishment his passion and commitment, his dedication to the historical preservation of African American history. Job well done, Mr. Curry. If anyone would like to say a few words, Mr. Curry, you may speak first if you'd like to say a few words.
Okay, I'll be very brief because I know that you all have a full agenda. I very much appreciate the recognition that you've given me through this resolution. I'm a lifetime member, citizen of the city of Wilmington, having been born on 5th Street, 400 block, and lived for many years in the 300 block of 7th Street. Can I be heard? My wife is saying I need to speak louder, but can you all
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. There's so many people I would like to thank, but time doesn't permit me to do that. But I do want to acknowledge, Xanthia, your kindness in remembering me. And I want to thank the members of City Council for approving this resolution. I want to simply say that it's been a long road. It's really been a long road. I've been blessed to have lived a long life. I'm in my mid-80s now, 85 to be exact. But the work is not done. There's still much to be done. And every day I pray that the Lord will give me the strength to carry on the work that He has laid out for me, that He has made my charge. A charge to some extent. I've received some measure of success, but there's so much more to be done. And I hope that I can count on the members of City Council and the mayoral administration so that the history of our East Side is documented. Our youth need to know their history. It's not taught in the schools. And the elders are passing off the scene. And so we've got to put some pieces together that will preserve this history. And one of those things is the African American Heritage Institute at the LI Kidd building. We know our history and are the best ones to teach it. We who have experienced that. Now, that's not to take anything away from anybody else, but that's a duty that we have, my African American brothers and sisters. So we got to stay on that bucking horse, even though there are those who would want you to fall off, you stay on it. The most recent initiative, as Xanthia pointed out, and I'm very proud of the fact that on the East Side, we now have the first Black-owned and operated radio station in the state of Delaware. And I want to make sure that you all know, council members and members of the public, the station is there to serve the community. So if you have any need to promote an activity, an affair, whatever, please know that the microphone is open to you and that you will find a welcome place at our studio. And the last thing is this: I've recently sent a letter to the mayor, and I've asked him if he would take the leadership in installing signs at the major intersections coming into the East Side. The East Side is Wilmington's most historic neighborhood. It is to Wilmingtonians what Auburn Avenue and Peachtree Street are to Atlanteans. In Georgia, they are proud of that neighborhood. And we hope to rekindle the pride that we once held in our neighborhood. And we think that signs posted in prominent places, welcome to Wilmington's historic. And I want to make sure that that's a part of the sign, because it is an historic neighborhood. The Swedes first landed on the 7th Street Peninsula, which is the East Side. The first Black city councilman, Thomas Postles, lived on the East Side. The first Black lawyer was from the East Side. The first Black doctor, the first Black architect. I could go on and on and on. I think if the mayor knows that this request is something that is supported by council, by an appropriate resolution, that might help him to realize, if he does not yet realize, that this is something very, very important to his African-American constituents. And
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Curry, for coming on and speaking. Would that be all?
That's enough for now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you, my dear.
No problem. Do we have anyone, anybody else from council like to say a few words? I know we have.
Yes, Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say to Mr. Harmon, congratulations on a well-deserved recognition. Sometimes I feel like I'm your council member as well, by the request that I get from you.
I feel the same way.
Which is my pleasure to share this opportunity with Council Member Oliver as it relates to the East Side. One of the things that we always share with individuals is that, you know, the both of us do our best to advocate for the East Side since it's split up between the 3rd and the 4th district. And I just want to say that it has been my pleasure to support you whenever you reach out to me. And I always do the best that I can for you. Thank you for being, I want to say, one of our historians in Wilmington from the East Side. Thank you for being mindful of Black history and wanting to promote it and wanting to do the things that you have done down through the years, especially with the festival, that you make sure that you organize each year. And like I told you in 2021, let's get started a little earlier this year so we can definitely make it more bigger than what it has been due to better organizing and planning. And you have been doing a great job, but we want to do more to support and help and make sure that everyone can experience what we've been experiencing with the festival. So thank you for all that you do. And again, congratulations.
Very kind of you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cabrera.
Yeah, very quickly, I just want to say I've known Harmon for many years, since my days with Mayor Sills. And just want to thank you for the work that you have done to preserve the history, and especially with the African American Museum of History that I know you're still diligently working hard. And I do see that as something that we're going to have on the East Side, house on the East Side, at least bits and pieces of it, if not all of it. So just want to say thank you for the work that you've done, keeping the history alive, the festival, and thank you for your friendship for throughout the years that we've known each other, since I met you when I was a young lassie working in the mayor's office and doing special events. So my best to you and to Claire, and all the work that she does in the East Side as well, with the YMCA. Hi, Claire. Everything that you give back to the community. We appreciate having anchors like you. And I personally will definitely work with your councilwoman and others to make sure that those signs and welcome to, to the historic East Side, that I think is a great idea. And I'm sure that that's something that's very doable. So we will work on that. Thank you for bringing that forward. And thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. I should have thanked my wife, you all. Just blame it on my head and not on my heart that I forgot. She gives Roman service to me and helps me out in so many ways.
I was going to give her, Mr. Kerr, I'm going to give her props in a minute. I wanted to see if there was any more. There you go. Any more council members would like
there
to
she is.
Yes, I just like to.
She's my backbone.
You see the jack in the box there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. President. I'm
I
sorry.
just want to thank both of you just for your relentless pursuit, just to make sure that African American history is captured and celebrated and promoted in our city. Can't even begin on, the effect that you guys have on our city and the love that you have for our city. A resolution could never encompass that. But thank you so much. I want to definitely thank Councilwoman Oliver for congratulating both of you. Definitely well deserved. Just keep up the great work, and please know that you will always have my support in whatever venture that you do, because I know it's never for self, and it's always for community and making sure that our heritage is never forgotten. So thank you both.
Thank you, Trippy. Trippy is my cousin. He may not wanted y'all to know that.
No, I was great.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Mr. Curry, I just want to, in closing, thank you and your wife for the outstanding work you've always done in our community. And I know we share you on the east side because part of your district is on Councilman Hardy's side.
Yes.
I mean, some of your businesses, and your businesses are by Bancroft on her side, and on 9th Street you have your radio station, and you have another museum on my side. I mean, on the 3rd District side. But nevertheless, it's been an honor. And you tell Ms. Curry, I know she's your backbone, but I know we have a lot of other things going on tonight. But I'd just like to thank you for coming on. And I will be in touch. And I know Stephanie Bowden is working on them signs, but we'll talk about that offline. And congratulations again, because I have someone else I want to honor so we can keep it moving. Thanks again.
Okay, now.
Yeah, Councilmember Oliver, I meant to say something real quick.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if that was from before, Michelle. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. I meant to say that the Neighborhood Planning Council, the 4th District, we are working on signs too. So I think that we probably need to touch base, because that was one of the initiatives that we are working on, is putting some historic signs. But I guess what we can talk about is what those signs would look like. So it's good to know that even though we're all thinking the same thing about the signs, I want Mr. Harmon Carey to know that we are working on that. And I'm glad to hear that Councilmember Oliver is working on it, and we will get together to make sure that we are presenting the appropriate sign. So we will get in touch with you as well together on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks again. And thanks again, Mr. Harmon, for coming on.
Yes.
You have a good night.
All right.
Thanks again.
You always.
Thank you. So thank you, Mr. President. That was great to see him. And we have, I have another resolution recognition from all the city council tonight. Is Mr. Woodford on the line? Mr. Seal Woodford.
I am here.
Good evening, Mr. Woodford. How are you doing this evening?
Doing very well this evening.
Thank you. This resolution is also from all city council for Black History Month. Whereas it is the sense of city council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and deserve recognition and acknowledgement. Council was pleased to recognize our 2022 Black History Month recipient, which is Mr. Sylvester Seal Winford, as one such individual. Whereas Mr. Seal, as he is called affectionately, is a native of Delaware and graduated from Wilmington High School and Delaware State University. Seal holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and Accounting. Seal completed his Master's in Business Administration with concentration in Marketing from Rutgers University. And whereas Mr. Woodford currently lectures monthly for the Newcastle County Library System, he is also a great lecturer at the University of Delaware and does consulting for the State of Delaware Division of Historical Cultural Affairs. And whereas in 2008, Mr. Woodford began a research in his family. This project has expanded into a total revest of African American history. He has been lecturing on African American history for the last 12 years and serves on several historical preservation boards, including Delaware Heritage Commission, Historical Culture Affairs, Delaware Preservation Fund, Wilmington University History Committee, and founder and member of the Delaware Chapter Afro-American Geology Society, just to name a few. And whereas during Mr. Winford's career, he has received many awards and recognitions for his work. I named a couple of them. State of Delaware House Representative 2012 Black History Month Presenter Award, Delaware State Education Association 2014 Human and Civil Rights Award, NAACP Wilmington Chapter 2016 Historical Extraordinary Award, to name a few. Now there be resolved by the council and the city of Wilmington that this council is pleased to commend Mr. Sylvester Seal Winford for his outstanding commitment and dedication of service that he provides to the citizens in the city of Wilmington and the state of Delaware. I'd like to just thank Mr. Winford for, he's a historian and he can find out a lot about your history, whatever color you are. I've heard him on various slides and various different communities. I know he did some history on my family, so he is definitely a historic. I heard things that I didn't even know. So if there's anyone that'd like to speak for a minute, because I know we have an agenda. Mr. Winford, would you speak, please? Would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely, would like to say a few words. Let me thank you, first of all, Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver, for putting together this resolution, and let me thank the other members of City Council for this resolution. Also thank that I'm honored to be honored with Harmon Carey, again, who has carried the flag for so long for the preservation of African American history in the city of Wilmington. I wouldn't have anyone to follow, or I wouldn't know what direction to move in if it hadn't been for Harmon Carey on Channel 8 and in the community and advocating that everyone, Black folks and white folks, know more about African American history. So I add my name to the resolution just given to Harmon Carey for the lifetime of work that he has done on preserving African American history. I would also like to add to Harmon's comment that it's not done yet. Although Harmon has spent a lifetime and I have spent the last 12 years researching African American history and speaking on African American history, we are truly just at the beginning of the process of changing society and getting everyone to know the contributions of African Americans in Wilmington, in the country, and throughout history. We have just passed HB 198, which requires K through 8 schools to put African American history in the curriculum. We are still again at that point of saying, what does that look like? What history is going into K through 12? Who's going to be the guardian of that history? Who's going to make sure that it properly represents African Americans? And again, it is for all of us to be vigilant in that process. We are starting from so far behind. We again have been for many years and decades left out of the history book. So we at this stage probably have to rewrite the history book. We probably again have to go into the schools. And this is all of us. This is not just Harmon Carey and me. We have to go into the schools. Today, I gave a lecture at Christiana High School. And again, this is what I call a heavy lift. When no one else is around to do anything, I try to do the little that I can to say, well, I'm not sure what HB 198 looks like. I'm not sure who else is interested, but I'm going into the schools and I'm going to stand at the African American history class and I'm going to tell them what I know about African American history. I'm not going to take up much more of your time, but I first again, or would like to say again, thank you. And again, encourage all of us to get involved in the preservation of African American history. Thank you again for the award.
Thank you, Mr. Woodward. I appreciate you. And anyone like to make a comment? Mr. Sue, I really thank you for coming on and,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Go ahead.
Councilwoman Cabrera.
Yes, I thought I had it from before. I just want to say that my history with Sil, and I have to tell you, I didn't know what you look like because we have been corresponding via phone and via email. And I'm taking a look and I said, wait a second, this name looks familiar. So I put your name into my emails. And of course, there's emails dating back to, 2016 and before. So I personally want to thank you for everything that you are doing. And not only are you speaking on African-American history, you're also speaking on Hispanic American history and how we have to tell the story of the people that came before us. And just because the history books don't tell the true history of this country, we have been conveniently left out, but there's a lot of contributions that both our people have made to history. So there's a project that's coming up that I'm going to reach out to you about for our 250th anniversary. But just want to say that we have collaborated and still always tries to keep me involved. And unfortunately, I've been so busy with some things that I haven't been able to be as hands-on as I like to be, but count on me because I'm definitely going to be doing some things with you. And I'm just so grateful for you continuing to tell the story, imploring that the rest of us do the same, and making sure that our children and others know our history. So I thank you so much for your community service.
I just want to just thank you. Another juggernaut, honestly, who just has found it their mission in life to again, to just make sure that we do not forget, that no one forgets African-American history in our city and our county and our state. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you sitting down. You are always, you are always on the move and always working and just like a bundle of energy. Just thank you for everything that you have done for my family, researching our history and everything that you have done in Buttonwood. It's amazing that we have just you and Harmon here just at the same time, just recognizing you both. So definitely want to thank Councilwoman Oliver for making that happen. Just keep up the great work, and it's just an honor, honestly, man, just to grow up around you and hear my parents always talking about the work that you have done, and you and Harmon are just between the two of you, the knowledge that you possess, and not only the knowledge, but like the respect that this community has for both of you is definitely worth mentioning. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, thanks again, Mr. Woodward. With that being said, Mr. President, I think that's it for the presentations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Harley, did you have comments?
Yeah, real quick. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Council Member Oliver, for this recognition. I do not have the same history and relationship with Mr. Wolford as those that have already spoken, but I will tell you, sir, that I did see you on Community Crossfire, and the information and the knowledge that you shared, it was priceless. And I got the opportunity to connect with you and to hear what you had to share. And I definitely made a mental note to eventually follow up with you to be able to get more information and to talk to you about doing the genealogy thing and just to see what information that you can share with me. But I just want to again congratulate you. It is an honor to witness you being recognized and honored, for the great work that you have done during this Black History Month. So again, congratulations and thank you, Councilmember Oliver.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This time I will read a resolution on behalf of all of council recognizing February as Black History Month. Whereas Wilmington City Council recognizes the importance and significance of the month of February as Black History Month. And whereas Black History Month is an annual celebration to recognize the heritage and achievements of Black people in the United States. Also known as African American History Month, the event grew out of Negro History Week. It's the brainchild of historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson and other prominent African Americans in 1926. The birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass inspired the creation of Negro History Week, the precursor to Black History Month. And whereas in 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month, calling upon the public to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Since 1976, every US president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, also devote a month to celebrating Black history. And whereas for 2022, Black History Month theme is Black Health and Wellness. This theme explores the legacy of Black scholars and medical practitioners in Western medicine. The theme for 2022 considers activities, rituals, and initiatives accomplished by Black communities to foster health and wellness. Now therefore be resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this council recognizes the month of February as Black History Month. And again, that was coming from all of council. And I do have a few sympathy resolutions I would like to recognize for all council on sympathy for Maureen Catherine Lasutis, and also from all council Clifford B. Diver. From Councilwoman Oliver, sympathy recognitions for Adrian May DeShields and Larry Nolan Tucker. And from Councilwoman Walsh, a sympathy recognition for Francis P. Diana Sr. At this time, I don't believe that we have anyone who signed up for a public comment. So we will go into legislative business. Councilmember Gray.
Nothing this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Harley.
No legislation tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Fields. She was excused. I'm sorry. Thank you. Councilwoman McCoy.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
Yes, Mr. President, I have an ordinance and call for third and final reading.
Ordinance 22-002, agenda 0125, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city general obligation bond supplemental wetland park project series of 2022 WPCRF in order to provide the additional funds necessary for the city's wetland park project, providing for the sale of the bond and authorizing other necessary action.
This time, Mr. President, I move it be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea/nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea/nay vote on the question.
Mr. President, this is a ordinance. It's a bond authorization for additional capital funding for the Wilmington Wetlands project for South Wilmington. Councilmember Harley is a co-sponsor on this ordinance, and it's a monumental step towards completing the wetland park project in the 4th district, and it will be a huge game changer for further making South Wilmington realize its potential, and then also provide an environmental justice. So I appreciate Councilmember Harley for taking the lead, and I will pass it on to her.
Councilwoman Harley, do you have any comments?
Oh, thank you, Councilmember Johnson and Council President. Councilmember Johnson pretty much summed it all up. I just want to say that I am happy to be a co-sponsor for this legislation. And as he mentioned, it is continuing work that has started at least 12 or 13, 14 years ago. And just being able to get the funds to continue to move forward with this initiative and project. It is very exciting. The residents in Southbridge, when I go to the Civic Association meetings, they're always asking, when are they going to complete the Wetlands project? I keep telling them the same thing. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're trying to get the money, so I was able to share this information with them last Saturday and as well as on Tuesday. So I'm very happy about this, and I am happy to be a co-sponsor. Thank you, Councilmember Johnson and President Congo.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands raised. So clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
yes,
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walsh,
yes,
President Congo.
Yes,
9 yeas and 3 absent.
declared adopted. Councilman Johnson, you may continue.
Yes, Mr. President, I have another ordinance for introduction, call for a third and final reading.
Ordinance 22-003, agenda 0126, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, annual water mains improvement project, Series A of 2022 DWSRF, in order to provide funds necessary to finance capital projects of the city relating to various water main improvements throughout the city, providing for the sale of the bond to the Delaware Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
At this time, Mr. President, I make that be known as the enacting clause and call for a yea/nay vote.
second,
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance. Call for a yea and nay vote on the question.
This is just a general housekeeping bond ordinance. This is specifically to enhance the water mains and drinking waters downtown on Walnut Street. It's much needed, and of course, we have an aging city. At this time, if there's no questions, I ask for a vote.
Let's see, no hands raised. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
yes,
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walsh,
yes,
President Congo.
Yes,
9 yeas and 3 absent.
declared adopted.
At this time, Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for third and final reading.
Ordinance 22-005, agenda 0137, an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and USI Insurance Services LLC for property and casualty insurance brokerage services.
Mr. President, I make that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote.
May we have a second, please?
second,
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea and nay vote on the question.
This is again, this is a regular risk management contract. It is to continue the outstanding relationship the City of Wilmington has with USI Brokerage Services specifically for property and casualty loss. The city has a good deal with them and would like to continue the relationship to make sure we manage our costs with risk management.
Okay, seeing no hands raised. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
yes,
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walsh,
yes,
President Congo,
Yes,
9 yeas and 3 absent.
declared adopted.
Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for a third and final reading.
Ordinance 22006, agenda 0138, an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and USI Insurance Services LLC for life and health insurance brokerage services.
Mr. President, I make that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call it for a yea, nay vote.
second,
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and called for a yea or nay vote. On the question?
Similar to the last agenda item, this is another housekeeping measure. This is continuing another great relationship between the city HR department and USI, specifically our health plans and life plans. So Director Charlotte Barnes and Ms. Smith in the office have a great relationship with USI and would like to continue making sure the city receives as much cost savings as possible.
All right, seeing no hands raised. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilwoman Gray,
yes,
Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
yes,
Councilwoman McCoy,
yes,
Councilman Johnson,
Yes,
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
yes,
Councilwoman Walsh,
yes,
President Congo,
Yes,
9 yeas and 3 absent.
declared adopted.
and lastly, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and I call for a first and second reading.
Ordinance 22007, agenda 0139, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bonds and general obligation bond anticipation note in order to provide the funds necessary to finance various capital projects specified in the city's fiscal year 2022 capital budget, providing for the sale of the bonds and the note, and authorizing other necessary action.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bonds and general obligation bond anticipation note in order to provide for the funds necessary to finance various capital projects specified in the city's fiscal year 2022 capital budget, providing for the sale of the bonds and the note, and authorizing other necessary action.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, let that be known as the first and second reading ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
second,
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee meeting.
And that will complete my item tonight, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Field.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cabrera.
nothing this evening. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Spadola. And Councilman Walsh.
nothing this evening. Thank you, Mr.
Council-
President.
Councilwoman Walsh. Thank you. This time we'll go to petitions and communications. Councilwoman Gray.
really nothing, just congratulate Councilman Spadola. I guess that's the reason he's not here on his new addition to his family, but nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Oliver.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd just like to thank all the participants who came out for minority contractor meeting that was held down Stubbs Tuesday evening. It was a nice little turnout. I appreciate individuals who came out from the city of Wilmington, some different departments, and I received a lot of feedback. It was about 25 guys down there, and not just males, with some females also. And they said it was very helpful, and there was some information that Jeff and Bob Weir and Economic Development and Del Dot had gave them that they wasn't familiar with. So the whole purpose of it was just try to get some individuals paperwork together for individuals who may be trying to start their own business or just catch up on some paperwork that they didn't have for the city of Wilmington. And I just wanted to thank all the departments who came out and participated, and the individual who showed up. And that would be all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councilwoman Harley.
Mr. President, may I be excused? I'm sorry.
Yes, you may be excused.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Before I make my announcement, I just wanted to echo what Councilmember Oliver was saying about the meeting. It definitely was very helpful and it was very informative. And I also got a lot of good positive feedback from the meeting. And I think Councilmember Oliver just asked to be excused, but it was a very good and informative a meeting, and I think it's going to be very helpful for those minority contractors that want to get involved in some of the projects on the east side. But I just want to mention that Wilmington, along with the city of Wilmington, BPG, the Chase Field House, and a number of other organizations are collaborating to welcome the Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship to the city of Wilmington. March the 2nd through the 6th. This is going to be pretty major as it relates to 2022. It definitely marks like the 50th anniversary, I believe, for this championship. And again, it's going to be March the 2nd through the 6th. There's going to be 14 teams coming together under one roof, being a part of this championship. And I just wanted to announce that for those that did not get the press release that came out today, to bring your families, your neighbors, and come out for a good time. And again, it's going to be March the 2nd through the 6th. You can contact the Chase Fieldhouse for your tickets. And again, this is the first time that we've held a championship such as this here in Wilmington. And I believe that it's going to be happening for the next 3 years. But again, this year is the 50th anniversary. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I really don't have anything to say, but to also congratulate Councilman Spadola and his fiance on their bundle of joy.
All right, thank you. Councilman Johnson.
Just wanted to make an announcement. There is this upcoming Monday, which is President's Day for everyone. The city will be closed, so please pay attention to your city collection schedule. And on President's Day, we have the rescheduled MLK Peace March, which will be taking place on the west side on the 7th Street Bridge. It's actually a full morning and afternoon of entertainment. Starts with a small business marketplace on 7th Street of Books and Bagels, in which many local vendors will be out. There's also, that's going to be from 12 to 4. Then there's also at the bridge, the 7th Street Bridge, there will be a peace march beginning at 1 o'clock. So this was the rescheduled from back in MLK Day because of the weather, but it will be a sighting all the way from noon to 4. And then after the march, there'll be a celebration. We have local artists, a lot of local artists who will be out, a lot of independent artists. You might even see our own parks director out there jamming. So it's really going to be a good time. It's going to be local art as well as music for the community. It's going to be obviously on the west side, but the whole entire city can hopefully take place in the 10th annual Peace March. So we will look forward to that. I know Council Member Brigida Fields is not present tonight, but of course, she would also be promoting this activity. And just on another measure, this past week we had a lot of unfortunate incidents on the west side, a lot of some hate incidents. So, I appreciate the neighborhoods and the community and business leaders for coming together and making sure that we stand up and report and root out the hate. So again, continue to stay vigilant on the west side and throughout the city. Hate is not tolerated in the city of Wilmington. And I appreciate the neighbors for going and either covering up the graffiti or reporting it so that we could take action. So I appreciate everyone because that is not who we are as Wilmingtonians. And it was unfortunate what occurred this past weekend, but we will continue to move forward stronger than ever. So I appreciate everyone staying engaged. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Field.
Yes, Mr. President, I just want to thank DelDOT for doing something on Pennsylvania Avenue that I think is going to be a big benefit to senior citizens living in the many senior facilities along Pennsylvania Avenue. When I visited them, most of these buildings in October and September, and in Luther Towers 1, Luther Towers 2, and Ingleside, and a major concern that was expressed was the limited amount of time to cross Pennsylvania Avenue. The countdown clock only was giving 12 seconds to cross, which is not a lot for someone maybe with less mobility, such as in a wheelchair or a walker. And last week, DelDOT was able to add an extra 10 seconds to the crossing, especially at Franklin Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. So that means that anybody crossing now can have 22 seconds, which is a big difference, again, for somebody with less mobility. And I think that will really help those seniors at Luther 2, Luther Towers 1, Rodney Court, and Ingleside. So that's again, that is Franklin Street at Pennsylvania Avenue, and that is due to the diligent effort by the DelDOT staff to look into what was possible, and they persisted and got it done. And for that, I want to thank them because they have made a big difference in improving the lives of some of the seniors in that building. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Cabrera.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would also like to add to the announcement that Councilman Johnson made for the activities on Monday, the 21st, that morning at 10 a.m. at Books and Bagels right at 7th and Harrison, there will be some poster making. So you can bring out the kids if you're trying to find something to do with them since they're off from school, have them come out and make some posters and get them ready for the parade, for the march. And they will also be open from 12 to 4 p.m. and they're going to have a marketplace. So between the festivities on the 7th Street Bridge, you can also camp out at 7th and Harrison, make some posters, enjoy the marketplace and participate in all of it. It's all within walking distance. I also would like to, on behalf of my council colleague, Councilwoman Brigida Fields, who is not with us this evening. First of all, we're sending her get well wishes as she is not well. She wanted me to share her quotes, which I really do love that she has these quotes at every meeting. She wanted me to share one for Black History Month and American Heart Month. The first one is from George Washington Carver. Where there is no vision, there is no hope. So as we move forward here in our city, I hope that we keep our vision alive as well as our hope. For American Heart Month, we are going to pick the one that says, it does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop, and that is by Confucius. So I thank her for forwarding her quotes so that we didn't miss that out. I also echo the sentiments of my colleagues in wishing our new council baby to Mr. Spadola, Mr. and Mrs. Spadola, because guess what? He did get married unbeknown to us. So yes, he is newlywed and a new father at the same time. I hope to see the community out on Monday as we march for peace right here in our city, right at the 7th Street Bridge, and wishing everyone a great February. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. Along with the rest of my colleagues, I would like to congratulate Councilmember Spadola for the new little one that they have in their family. And I hope the child very much enjoys the little onesie that I got for him, which says, I really was born a Democrat. So I'm sure his father will put that on him all the time when he's out doing his guitaring and campaigning and all the other things. But I think it's very special when a baby is added to the family of City Council, and I wish the best of luck to the parents with this one. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Cabrera, did you have another comment?
Yes, Mr. President, I'm sorry, I forgot. There is something I did want to share. Wilmington has actually gone 75 days, believe it or not, without a homicide until most recently, there was a shooting on the east side. And the police officers that were literally 2 blocks away, as soon as the shooting happened, they ran there. 2 officers stayed behind while 2 officers actually chased down the person who did the shooting. Just wanted to state that the person they were chasing had a .40 caliber gun, had nothing to lose, but they still did their job. They still went out there. They were able to arrest the person and take them into custody. And most recently, there's been other examples where they, pulled over a car, turned out that it was a stolen vehicle from Philadelphia. It had 5 people in there. Many of them had charges. They were wanted. And again, there was like 4 or 5 guns removed. So, I know that we hear all the negative and the things, especially when the shootings and the violence is up, but I also have to congratulate and commend the fact that this was excellent policing. And even just doing some random stops, they've actually been taking guns off the street. Just in this past week alone, over a dozen guns were taken off the streets. And that was just a few examples. So I just want to congratulate them for their excellent police work. And that sadly enough, we did lose someone in that shooting, but they were able to get the person who committed the crime. So, good job, Wilmington Police. Thank you, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I also would like to congratulate Council Member James Spadola and his family. I just want to thank everyone for continuing to engage with us. I know, unfortunately, we're probably going to continue to be virtual into March, just to keep everyone safe. That's our main priority here. I do want to announce that that recruiting has begun for youth career development, ages 14 through 20. You will be able to earn $10.50 an hour. For more information, please call the Youth Career Development staff at 576-3822. Again, that number is 576-3822. And they will walk you through how to apply. But the deadline for applying is April the 1st. So we will continue to make this announcement until the deadline. Also want to thank everyone who applied and qualified to help us desires to fill our council vacancy seat. Just want to thank you for wanting to be a part of the process as we all continue to improve our city. And we definitely had a record number of applicants, so looking forward to talking to them and helping them to come on council and be a part of us just doing what's best for our city. With that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
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 All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried, meeting adjourned. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Everyone.
Good night.